Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, November 25th, 2014. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves says his government will need to stop non-governmental organizations, NGOs and churches from making applications for concessions to avoid paying transfer tax on properties. Dr. Gonsalves noted that churches and NGOs get lots of concessions for public address systems, including chairs, tents, etc., adding that though they may appear as simple items, they all add up.
Church may buy a piece of land, or an NGO may buy a piece of land to build a building, or to buy a building, to buy a property. They want to be saved the 5% transfer tax. For that individual one, it may appear not to be significant, but when there are several, they add up. We used to get a lot of concessions requests for concessions coming to us from cultural and sporting organizations, from the villages and so on and so forth, and nationally, but not only nationally, for waivers for departure taxes. Well, you can't have waivers for departure taxes now because it's collected in the ticket through IATA, International Air Transport Association. So that's one concession is gone.
Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves has made it clear that he will not be passing any blame to those who designed and constructed the road at Argyle, which started sinking over the weekend. At a media conference today, PM Gonsalves said it is not the first and it won't be the last time that a road subsides. He says the question now stands, how do they address the situation?
Just giving you the facts, what we do as human beings, seeking to come to terms with nature and building facilities to make our lives better, more productive, what a road is. I'm told by the chief engineer that on the right side of the road going up facing country that they will have to do the wall to hold up that side of the road, and that they will have to dig it up at that portion, repack it with the relevant materials, and then pave it again.
Dr. Gonsalves added that by the end of today, the small bypass road should be motorable.
I want persons to bear with us for us to do this, the small bypass, properly, and don't go on it yet. Don't try and push it to go on it yet, because we have to do the asphalting and we have to do the drainage there properly. I even spoke to Brent and Dr. Matthias this morning and asked them if need be if they can work tonight, so that they can double up the work, so that even the ministry had said by Friday they should be going there. I'm hoping that we can do it even quicker, so that the public can see that we are making a concerted effort to get this done very quickly.
The possibility of Vincentians purchasing shares from Cable and Wireless is one of the things Prime Minister Gonsalves says he is looking to propose at a meeting with ECTEL ministers soon. Dr. Gonsalves says he is planning to meet with the ministers hopefully by December 5th, and he will be putting on the table the possibility of ordinary Vincentians buying into the market.
We have to go beyond being a hewer of wood and a drawer of water, important as it is to hew wood and draw water. And a lot of young professionals are making a good living working with these international telecommunications companies, with Flow, with Cable and Wireless, with Digicel, set up their own businesses. I'll have to get the details provided to me about What are the movements in the shares, say, for the pre-CS countries or the Eastern Caribbean countries? Because these companies ought to be listed, and I think they are listed on the St. Kitts, the Stock Exchange, the Eastern Caribbean Stock Exchange Securities Market. They're listed in Barbados and they're listed in Jamaica. Not the international, I'm talking about the companies which operate in our area.
According to the Prime Minister, they have been studying the question of purchasing, including legal issues surrounding the acquisition of Columbus Communications by Cable and Wireless, and they will provide an appropriate answer to the company soon. Dr. Gonsalves added that what must be taken into consideration is the small size of Columbus Communications in SVG.
If we don't provide the approvals here, the deal can go ahead in other places without us. Similarly, I noticed the data in relation to St. Lucia. The numbers are not so high, but yet we have to watch it across the region. And we are giving a full hearing to Cable and Wireless. We're giving a full hearing to Digicel and their objections. And we will make our determination within the context of the legislation establishing the Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Authority.
With just a small portion of the estimated $3.3 million spent thus far on remedial work at the LaClere Valley Housing Project, some homeowners are already expressing thanks to the government for the work done thus far. Recently, a few of the homeowners spoke with SVG-TV News on and off camera and explained that the main concern they were experiencing was the shaking of their homes, but states since the columns have been reinforced, they now feel a lot more comfortable in their homes.
See that I am satisfied. I am not having any shaking as I used to have before. The tile work is still yet to be done. The cracks that were there have not been sealed as yet, but I think the major thing was the shaking of the structure, and that has since stopped, and I am satisfied.
Grateful.
I'm very grateful. I had some drainage problems that has not been rectified as yet, but I know it will be done.
So far they've been doing good. Well, they haven't completed everything and the shaking has stopped. My kids can run about in the house without me being scared. Apart from that, I wish that they would have completed everything instead of just giving you a piece of something.
Meanwhile, the homeowners say while they are happy for the enclosing of their downstairs, they also wish the floors were also cast.
Probably casting the floor would have made it a little bit more, make you feel a little more safe, because I think just the blocks alone being up, sometimes it's rocking a little bit, but probably it's your mind playing games with you. You want to think that, but I don't know.
It would have been nice. It would have been an added bonus if we could have had the ground cast, but that didn't happen. But I am really happy. The extent of the work that I had done, I didn't think that would happen. I didn't even believe the engineer when he said that when he's finished with my house that it wouldn't shake again. I was very doubtful, and I said that to him.
Meanwhile, Jasmine Bentic, one of the homeowners at the LaClere Valley Housing Project, says she has come under a series of attacks from persons following a newspaper interview. In that article, she stated that she no longer has problems with the stability of her house, and also used the opportunity to express gratitude to the government for the remedial work done.
I cannot lie. When my house was shaking, when I had problems with it, I was very vocal. I was up and about complaining. And now that I'm not having a problem, I don't know what I was supposed to say. If I was supposed to say that it was shaking when it's not shaking. So I got a list from persons, because persons would approach me and say, oh, I saw in the newspaper and he's saying this and he's saying that, I wonder what you hope to gain. But if I'm not having a problem, I'm not having a problem. And I'm a person, if it affects me, even if I have to stand alone, I will stand and I will speak. So if it's not affecting me, it's not affecting me.
Still to come, SVG bids farewell to Cuban ambassador. More stories on the local scene when SVG-TV News continues. Don't go away. Government officials and other persons here on Monday bid farewell to Cuban Ambassador Pablo Rodriguez as he ends his tenure in this country. Rodriguez served as Cuban ambassador here for the past 4 years and was yesterday honored for his service at a ceremony at the Prime Minister's residence. Minister of Foreign Affairs Camilo Gonçalves said the ambassador has demonstrated a keen understanding and appreciation for what it is to be Vincentian.
In which we communicate and interact with each other. They have become Vincentian in their 4 years here, and we're grateful to send them back to Cuba enhanced by their experience here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Pablo and Maria, of course, have presided as ambassadors during some of the most momentous acts of cooperation between the governments of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Cuba. For the last 4 years, they have helped to oversee and supervise from their end the construction of the modern medical complex at Georgetown, which will soon be completed, and we have a great deal of thanks to give them personally for their work in that regard. And of course, among many other things, they were instrumental and continue to be instrumental in the historic work being done by the Châtelet contingent at Argyle.
Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonçalves says the farewell of Ambassador Rodriguez is a celebration of Cuba.
Of one kind or another. And the work which we do together in the international arena. Cuba and St. Vincent and the Grenadines are members of ALBA. Hugo Chavez and Fidel Castro started ALBA. The impulse of the Petro-Carib regime came from Fidel and Hugo Chavez. The driving forces behind the Community of States of Latin America and the Caribbean, CELAC, which comprises all the countries of the Western Hemisphere, save and except the United States of America and Canada. In all these international organizations we work. We work at the UN. We work in the Group of 77. We work in the Non-Aligned Movement. And we work very closely.
In his response, Ambassador Rodriguez said he was happy to have served as his country in SVG for the last 4 years.
During all this year, we had here many activities. All the time, we were trying to do our best to help. I don't want to mention everybody because too many people here, and the majority of them have a short history or so. So let's take it. That was my first Minister of Foreign Affairs here, even when we met before in Cuba, before I arrived. But they have to mention two people that are not here from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is Douglas Slater and Andreas Wicken. That I have to thank because it was a big support for our relations.
Vincentians will have the opportunity to do a good deed that can possibly save lives this Thursday by registering to become blood donors at the University of the West Indies Open Campus at Morris Road. The University of the West Indies has been hosting the annual blood drive since 1962 after the captain of the touring Indian team, Nariman Contractor, received a career-ending head injury from a bouncer bowled by then West Indies fast bowler Charlie Griffith. Frank Worrell was the first player from both sides to donate blood to the injured contractor, which saved his life. This year, the Sir Frank Worrell Blood Donor Registration Drive will be hosted in collaboration with the Milton Cater Memorial Hospital, the MCMH, and the SVG Planned Parenthood Association, the SVPPA, which will be held from 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. on Thursday. Speaking at a press conference yesterday, Senior Administrative Assistant of the UWI Open Campus, Camille LaClere, noted that the drive is set up to register eligible persons for later blood donation to the MCMH.
We are hosting this drive under the theme, Give the Gift of Life. Given the limited storage capacity and limited shelf life of blood, which is only 35 days, the smaller sites, in collaboration with the blood banks in their respective countries, have opted to host blood donor registration drives. This serves to increase the data bank of registered donors who can be called upon in an emergency to donate blood as needed. We have partnered with the blood bank at the Milton Caton Memorial Hospital and the St. Vincent Planned Parenthood Association in hosting the event. Our intent is to offer a MIDI medical service in addition to registration to become a donor. As I am here presently, we have already had the apologies from Ms. Claudette Williams, who unfortunately couldn't make it, and she's asked that I pass on the information from the blood bank as to what you would expect when you come on Thursday. Now, you will not be donating blood here at the site. At the site, when you come, the service that will be offered would be blood typing, so you can find out what blood type you have, if you're an A, if you're an O, and that can simply be done through a finger prick. So there are no large needles, no big bags of blood.
Verlene Saunders of the SVG Planned Parenthood Association said interested persons can do the various tests at the open campus on Thursday to ensure their blood is safe to be added to the blood bank at the hospital.
We'll try to offer you HIV testing if you come on Thursday here. We will also offer you blood pressure checks on that morning, and we will check what is known as your GMR, but otherwise known colloquially as your sugar test. So that will also be done here on Thursday by our staff. Now, as I say, we are really pleased to be participating, and we really do support the UWI campus in this blood donor registration drive.
The event is extremely important since it can determine whether a person lives or dies and encourages everyone to participate in the drive.
Give those employees who wish to support the drive a little extra time. This is extremely important. The blood bank needs to have the donors on file. We need to know that when we need somebody, you can pick up a list, you can go through and see this is what we need. So we have also put it on community dateline, the public service ads, I think, that are on 3 of the radio stations. They carry it free of charge. Persons hear of it on Thursday morning and they wish to come on Thursday morning, we can accommodate them. So it is an island-wide initiative.
Vincentians are urged to join in the fight to end crime and violence against women. Earlier today, an event to commemorate International Women's Day was held in capital Kingstown. Director of Gender Affairs Division, Polly Oliver, said that the activity held in collaboration with the National Council of Women is to sensitize the Vincentian public of the wrongs being committed against women and to further encourage them to end violence in all aspects.
5th of December internationally is celebrated as International Day to End Violence Against Women, and so the Gender Affairs Division within the Ministry of National Mobilization in collaboration with the National Council of Women and other agencies has come together to celebrate and to inform the public as to the scourge of violence and what is really happening, and we are just working together to make sure that we end violence against women and girls, not just against women and girls, but also against our men. So we are saying that today's discourse, let it be one that provides us with an opportunity to tease out the gender dimensions of violence and be an inspiration to all that will cause a positive change in attitudes and behavior, because realize that violence has been with us over the years and we have been struggling, we have been fighting, and we hope that today's activities would be one of inspiration that will inspire persons to come out and join with us in the fight to end violence against women.
You're all being encouraged to grab an orange ribbon, wear something orange for the rest of this week, and join the fight to end violence against women. Steps are being made to sensitize the Vincentian public on the negative impacts of their actions on the environment through music. This through the launch of the Education Entertainment to Influence Behavior Toward Climate Change Adaptation initiative by the Ministry of Culture. the National Emergency Management Organization NEMO and SVG AMP. The initiative is being commended by all the stakeholders, including Cultural Officer Anthony Tibbles, who said he believes it is a worthy cause for his department to be a part of.
I think it is particularly fitting that the Department of Culture should be a partner in a program such as this. We're speaking about education and entertainment to influence behavior change as we look to how we can adapt to the changing and the changes that are occurring in our climate. Music continues to be a very, very powerful tool. We are going to try with this project to do two things. We're going to try to improve the standard of our drumming so that people will be more interested in listening to us play. And then we are going to try to send messages about how the way that we act, the way that we treat Mother Nature is going to come back to bite us.
Deputy Director of NEMO, Michelle Forbes, said they support the initiative fully.
The National Emergency Management Organization supports the SVG Association of Music Professionals in your initiative to influence behavior towards climate change adaptation, particularly in those communities that have been impacted by recent hazards. NEMO has several public education programs, and I guess by now you know we use different forms of media, whether the print, the radio, flyers, etc. And all our programs are really aimed at fostering a culture of preparedness and readiness among our people. This initiative, therefore, takes a more hands-on approach of using our local artists and professionals to share information at the community knowledge on not only climate change adaptation, but disaster risk reduction, with the hope of influencing all to change their behavior and adapt to the possible impacts of any hazards.
Principal of the Richmond Vale Academy, Stina Herberg, noted that the effects of global warming and climate change are very serious, and therefore it is very important for persons to understand the consequences of their actions.
I think this is a very good and very important initiative because the climate is changing. Due to human activities, the climate is changing. The burning of fossil fuels around the world is polluting the atmosphere. This is one big cause why we are having these disasters in St. Vincent. Another problem is deforestation. All around the world, about half of the world's forests are gone. We need trees to breathe. We need trees to keep the soil. Trees is crucial. Change of land use is also causing climate change. Also, trees need to help us absorb CO2 pollution from the atmosphere. So, what humans are doing is that we're polluting the atmosphere, and when we are doing this, we're trapping the sunlight, so the planet is warming. Over the last decades, due to human activities, the planet has heated 1 degree. Some people, where I'm born, would think, oh, that's nice. Let's get a little warmer. But that's not very nice. You heat it 1 degree, what happens is that it's much easier for hurricanes to form. So we will have more hurricanes. And we know it now, and the thing is that global warming is serious and it's just gonna get worse.
Capital City Kingstown is expected to be a hive of activity this Sunday, November 30th, when the 2014 SVG Christmas and 9 Mornings Festival is officially launched at Heritage Square, beginning at 6 p.m. The activities, which usually draw a large crowd, will get going with the traditional lighted street parade, accompanied by the RSVG police force and cadet bands, boom drums from Rosebank, Rose Hall, Stubbs, along with dancers, drummers and X-Band of Sion Hill. The SVG 9 Mornings Committee is encouraging the various community groups and persons participating to walk with flambeaux, candles and other forms of traditional lights and music. The route will be from the Heritage Square and ends on Bay Street. Following this, there will be a short opening ceremony with Christmas greetings. Minister of Culture Cecil Mackey will officially declare the festival open, following which there will be the lighting of Heritage Square. During the evening's program, there will be a special memorial for the victims of the December 2013 floods done by the Hope for Life Restoration Ministries entitled Shine a Light. A varied cultural package will climax the evening's activities. The festivities are being held under the theme Celebrating a Unique Vincentian Tradition. Raviera Hazel, a resident of Paget Farm, Beckway, has been arrested and charged with the offense of causing grievous bodily harm. He is accused of using a cutlass at a bus stop at Paget Farm on November 16, 2014, to inflict cutlass wounds to the hands of Lemuroy Compton of the same address, almost severing 3 of the fingers on his right hand in the process. Hazel was escorted earlier today to the Kingston Magistrate Court and pleaded not guilty to the charge. The police prosecution objected to his bail, stating that the victim is presently a patient at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital awaiting surgery. He was remanded into custody and the matter has been adjourned and transferred to the Paget Farm Magistrate Court for another hearing on November 28, 2014.